This is the DTM RE-COMMENTATOR. Anytime Dan puts up a video, I put up a video. Anytime Dan says something ridiculous, well, I don't have that kind of time. But every video, I'm going to comment on the highlights. I'm going to let you know what the video is about, just in case you don't have 30 minutes a day. And basically keep you up to date on all the soap opera drama going on in Dan McDonald's life. So, here we go! Okay, I just found a video that caught my attention. Check out this title. That'll get your attention. I've never heard him talk about paleos before. And he says a whole bunch of interesting stuff here.
Everybody's violent and angry. And so they're not setting a good example, so I'm not going to listen to anybody, you know?
Get to the gist of this video here. And it's people not setting a good example for what they are arguing for. And yeah, I would agree with that. Vegans can do it when they get too angry, and then that backfires. Let's see. The way paleos do it, I don't see them being angry. What are they angry about? Vegans, maybe? That's all I can think of. What paleos are is, they're just crummy people, and they give themselves away pretty easy. You can see that in their posts. I feel perfectly fine saying that because you can see it for yourself. I decided to take the non-angry approach, the shining example, and show how good it can be. So I would agree with him and disagree with him just in these few sentences here.
But I don't judge anyone either. And that's the title and the topic of today's video after that warm-up. So, check it out. Today's video title is Stop Judging Other People. I saw this video thread, the vegans versus the paleos. The vegan police, which are just as violent as anybody I've ever seen. And then there's the paleo, who's just as violent, and everybody's violent and angry. And so they're not saying...
Who are you calling angry? And who's he calling violent? I don't think any of them are violent. Well, people aren't just going to stop being angry and emotional. So according to him, I guess we need some kind of a transformation chamber where we can just remove emotions from human beings. And then we can stop judging anything. Judging is bad. Stop judging politicians and just ignore them. And don't judge judges. We've got to remove them because they're judges and they're bad. We've got to stop judging gurus. Okay, enough of that. I wouldn't want anybody to mistake my sarcasm for judging.
You learn how to educate yourself so you're not like a sickly vegan, and then you can set a good example, you know what I mean? And so everybody's like arguing and fighting over diet. Well, guess what? You want to know how much I want to have to do with that? Absolutely nothing. Want to know why?
Since I don't think he'll give the honest answer here, I think I have the answer. He wants to stay focused on what he's been doing, which has made him so successful. Arguing on message boards like I've done in below videos, that gets you nowhere. That's the profit it gets you.
But for months I remember living off $5 a day. It was either like this. On the hungrier days, I would get 3 Jumbo Jacks with extra pickle, lettuce, and onion. I was already onto something there. On the more thirstier days, I would get 3 beers, 22 ounces, and get really drunk, and then have 2 cheeseburgers. I went vegan for health, and I stayed that way.
Whatever doesn't mean, you know, because I've had some non-vegan freakouts over the years, you know what I'm saying? When I was in New York, I was eating eggs because I couldn't, the energy was too much and I didn't have the fats, you know, and so...
I went vegan for health, and I stayed that way, because an unhealthy vegan is pale and pasty and weak and skinny and doesn't set a good example. And so the other dude with meat who's a little more pumped up At least he's got some stimulation and his blood is pumping and he's engorged and he's got some energy and vitality. If you don't do the vegan thing right and you just, I'm a vegan, you know, and I hate people that eat meat, you know, but then you eat like Fritos and you look all pasty and pale in your skin.
I was also very pale. Diet has nothing to do with paleness. This is, of course, people are still going to believe that.
If you learn this stuff, you learn how to do the vegan thing right, to where you've got proteins and fat and fat and fat and fat and fat and fat, nuts and seeds.
He was saying in there somewhere that if you don't get enough fat, you're going to be a sickly vegan. How much fat is not enough fat? He never quantitates anything, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to argue with him, but I'm going to keep it up. I can narrow this down, kind of like an algebra problem. So let's say he says 10% is not enough. Well, I eat high-fat food almost every day, and that keeps my fat about 10%, sometimes way up to 14. But I think he would still call that deficient. Yeah, so I've been deficient in dietary fat for like 20 years, according to him. This is what it's about. Yet, I'm less pale than he looks right there.